Hello, everyone. So, I know I was supposed to do a Twitter space, but I got in late. I got in like almost 9 o'clock, and I had to get myself together because I do have an interview to go on, and I have some other things I have to do. But I just want to let folks know that I did early voting because I do not want to vote next Tuesday late because I'm tired. And everybody want to know who I ranked and why did I rank these people the way I ranked them. So here it is. So I ranked Adams as number 1, Wiley as number 2, Garcia as number 3, Morales as number 4, and I even put in a 5th person because I was not going to do a 5th person, but I put in Sean Donovan as 5. So the reason why I put Adams as first because Adams is the one that's telling people what he's going to do for the city and not just bullshit. And I ranked Maya as second because I had her as first, but what happens is she got caught up in the purity moment instead of telling us what she's going to do. But however, she does have a great plan for the city, and she is capable, and she is willing to run, this city the way it's supposed to be run, and she's going to scare all the rich white people, which that's a good thing in my eyes. Garcia number 3 because she's lukewarm. Even though she's prepared, but she gives me Amy Coney Barrett vibes, and she has not made her rounds around black people. And that's a concern for me as a voter. And I don't want somebody that, is going to ignore black folks and Hispanic folks in the city, because you already had 3 mayors thus far who just ignored the black community altogether within almost the last 30 years. As the city's been run. That's a problem. And some of the Garcia supporters, the older white women and the middle-aged white women, they're problematic. They're someone that I will side-eye and keep my eyes on, because I don't trust them to deliver the Democratic vote for this city. Excuse me. I don't. Now, Morales is number 4. Why did I rank her? Because, as 4, rank her at all, because even though she's not going to win, but I like the consistency, and I appreciate her consistency and her messaging. And Donovan, he has experience, so he's number 5. He doesn't really excite me much, but he's number 5. But the 2 that I would like to see as my mayor is both Adams and Wiley. Either one is team blackness for me. And not just because of their race, because of what they're going to do for my city. And how both Adams and Wiley has visions. They disagree on, ideology. But when it comes to meeting the needs of black people and Hispanic people in the city, two of them, both Adams and Wiley have a vision to boost the African community. And that's what New York needs. Because we've been ignored as a lifelong New Yorker for the last 28, 29 years. And black people in particular built up Harlem, Bed-Stuy, and Northeast Bronx, while Hispanics built up East Harlem, Washington Heights, and the Lower East Side. And also black people built up parts of Queens, Jamaica Queens too. That's right. We built up neighborhoods where gentrifiers came in and seized on our shit. And those are the facts. In my neighborhood in Harlem, that was the first one to be seized upon on. So we have mayors that's going to meet where the black people need to be meet. We have 2 candidates that we know, that I know for certain, that's going to meet my needs. And that's both Adams and Wiley for me. Because I was just going to rank those 2. I wasn't going to rank the other 3. But I ranked those 2, and I knew I was going to rank those 2. And I won't be surprised. Either Wiley or Adams, most likely probably Adams, is going to clinch the nomination. Let me read some of your comments. You have to discuss that dumb tweet. Oh, I'm getting into that shit. And speaking of the Yang supporter, who decided to be an ass and tweet some dumb shit. Well, I got to get to both of them, both of these tweets, because I'm going to read these Yang people. Hello. So one guy named the Brooklyn Pundit replied to this tweet saying, hot take, at Andrew Yang getting at AOC on Yang Speaks last summer would have made a huge difference in the mayoral run. Yeah, okay. Hot take, NYC voters being educated on the issues would have made a real difference in this mayoral race. Now time out. New York voters are educated. And they're educated to know that Yang is not the thing. He's from Schenectady, which, okay, that's fine because Maya's from DC. That doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, he does not know the culture of the city at all. This city has so much history. And in recent times, different ethnic groups have built up neighborhoods that is known around the world. My neighborhood, Harlem Renaissance, where mostly black people are, and black people had homes, and still some of them still have their buildings. Bed-Stuy, Crown Heights, East New York, Northeast Bronx, South Bronx, Southside Jamaica, Queens. It's a lot of neighborhoods I can name where black people and Hispanic people have built up. So when people are saying we need to be educated and have Andrew Yang as our mayor, no. The man don't even know what train to take him uptown to the Bronx. A mayor's supposed to know the whole transit system through and through. And I'm pretty sure he don't ride the train every day. The rest of these candidates, they ride the train every day. And the bus. And you got to know the whole bus system. So, yeah, Yang supporters are stupid. And another tweet. This is the tweet that got me pissed. So, here it is. This guy, his name is Lion for President 2024. Had the audacity to tweet this dumb shit. Andrew Yang scored 1,500 on the SAT when he was only 15 years old. If Eric Adams scored even close to that, would he have gone to a crappy community college called New York City College of Technology? I don't think so. Vote Yang, the smart choice. Capital, smart choice for mayor. I'm going to read that again. Andrew Yang scored 1,500 on the SAT when he was only 15 years old. If Eric Adams scored even close to that, would he have gone to a crappy community college called New York City College of Technology? I don't think so. Vote Yang, the capital, smart choice for mayor. Yeah, what the hell? Here's the thing. New York City Tech, that's what we call it in New York. New York City Tech is actually one of the most prestigious schools within the CUNY system. Along with Baruch, along with Lehman, along with Hunter, along with Brooklyn College, my alma mater. It's so much and so much to name. And the community colleges are worthy too. The CUNY system in New York is so rich and it's so prestigious. The alumni network is so big. You had a lot of famous people, and thank you, Jay, for putting that under my comments because I'm about to read them, who went to a CUNY school. So here it is. Yvette Clark went to Medgar Evers. That's one of the senior colleges in Brooklyn. Elliot Engel, former congressman, went to Hunter and Lehman. Tish James, our AG in New York, went to Lehman. Kissinger attended City College, and so did Colin Powell. And Colin Powell is from the Bronx. And also, Brooklyn College is where the Vermont Jesus, Bernie Sanders, attended, which is my alma mater. Barbara Boxer, former senator of California, went to Brooklyn College. Jerry Steinfeld, was a comedian, went to Queens College. Ray Romano went to Queens College as well. Joy Behar, the co-host of The View, went to Queens College. Judge Judy went to John Jay, down the block from my house. And I forgot to mention, John Jay is one of the prestigious law schools in New York City. Jimmy Smith went to Brooklyn College. Fran Dresser went to Queens College. Queen Latifah went to BMCC, and she's from New Jersey. Ruby Dee, famous actress who was in Raisin in the Sun, and later on in life, she was in American Gangster, the movie. Went to Hunter College on the Upper East Side, which is across town from me. And Susan Rice's father, who is Jamaican, because she's Jamaican, went to City College of New York. And there's so many that went to CUNY. For those who don't know what CUNY stands for, it's a City University of New York. And I know people that went to that journalism school, which is not too far from where I live. And yours truly, who goes to Brooklyn College as a grad student part-time. So for a Yank supporter to make that fucking comment, and keep in mind, the guy that you want as the mayor has to oversee a CUNY college, and who gets to put people on there, and so as the governor, speaks a lot about your candidate. And it speaks a lot about his supporters, by the way, which I ran into one of them who was giving out flyers, and he looks like a dirty white bro socialist, unwashed, as I said, don't look like he takes showers that often. Speaks a lot about their character and how low they go. They're almost is equivalent to the Bernie Bros. They ain't shit, and they ain't gonna be shit. And yes, I said what I said about them. So if any Yank supporter got a problem, I'm here. Bring it. You don't want this. You don't want me to go in. Because I will go in. And you won't like it. You will call me the angry black woman. Like I tell people, and I tell all these bums on the internet, I'm not the one. I'm not. You don't want to cross paths with me. You really don't. And when you insult black people, no matter if you agree with him or not, that was racist as fuck. This city has more blacks and Hispanics than Asians and whites. And that's a guaranteed fact. And that's, you can actually Google that shit. And there's more Hispanics, especially Afro-Latinos, that live here. So gang supporters, you know what angle they're coming from. And you know not to trust them. Because their candidate's not going to get it. They might vote Republican. Or they might not vote at all. So like I said to the Yank supporters, if you got a problem, please bring it. I'm here. You don't want none of this. Trust and believe. I'm not that one. Guarantee that. Now let me read your comments. Oh, I'm seeing what of a pattern here. That's right. That's exactly what it sounds like. Disrespectful on all many levels. And Wagwan, Queen Lion. I'm sorry that I didn't say hi to you. Afro-Latinas, you notice how they are left out. Let me talk about the Heights. Now, y'all know I'm a born and bred New Yorker. Obviously, you hear in my voice. I went to school with kids from Washington Heights. I literally did. I went to school with a lot of them. And they're not excited to see this goddamn movie. I'm not Afro Latino and I don't want to see this movie because I feel like it's for gentrified folks. I mean, I appreciate Lin-Manuel's his whole entire brand of what he's trying to have inclusion and Hamilton the way, but it's like when you're doing something like In the Heights, especially in New York City, and he knows better, good and damn well, people in the Heights are not as joyful as that. They're good people, but they're about running their businesses, living in their pre-war buildings, feeding people food. They're about that. So this In the Heights movie, like, I don't know if I want to see it because I don't really like musicals like that. That's just not my thing. Like, I'll watch the West Side Story because I like the West Side Story and The Wiz. Like, those I actually like. But this whole In the Heights thing, like people laughing and dancing, no. Washington Heights is not like that. There's a lot of people that look like me. Literally a lot of people that look like me. And that wear braids and speak Spanish. And it's so sad because there's people that from Dominican Republic don't consider themselves black, but they got a wake-up call in the last couple of years. Oh, they got a wake-up call. See, the Puerto Ricans always consider, most of the Puerto Ricans I know, consider themselves as being black. And a lot of Puerto Ricans date a lot of black people. I'm just saying. Dominicans, when I went to high school with them, some of them didn't like black people, but you look like us, and your hair's coarse just like me, and some of y'all use super perms. But then you had some cool Dominicans that I went to school with, and they were cool. And you had some on the side of them, but now they want to use Afro Latino because you're black. It's okay. Black people are in France. We speak French. We speak Portuguese. We speak Swahili. We speak a lot of languages. There's a lot of black people on this globe. You wouldn't even know. Some of us speak German. Some of us speak Yiddish. There's just a lot of black people. But I'm not into musicals like that, and I don't want to see The Heights. I really don't. As a fact, the parents would disown them if they were, especially the black girls. I mean, the Dominican girls. They date black men. They did a lot of black men. I'm not sure about the Dominican guys because they won't go for us. Puerto Rican guys will go for us more. That's because they like thickness. And they like a home-cooked meal. They like macaroni and cheese and collard greens and yams and fried chicken. Let's keep it real. They like that shit. Yeah, there's a lot of black people in Australia. Some of them are mixed too. There's a lot. The African diaspora is huge. Yeah, T, it's a fact. It's a whole fact. It's a whole fact. But yeah. That's what I have to say about that. And some people got mad about, Lin-Manuel's trying to open doors for people. No, the director realized he effed up too. And that's just what it is. But yeah, I had to look at that tweet because I'm like, what kind of shit? How you disrespect the CUNY schools? And I go to a CUNY school for graduate school. Oh, of course the Brits. My cousin's country, not my cousin, my brother-in-law, his home country, Grenada, is owned by the British too. It's British colonized. It's crazy. Oh, so these Bernie online people, I told you, online supporters are the worst people in the whole. They're not even real life. They're like just bots. I think it's like fat men that eat donuts all day. Oh yeah, they are the original colonizers, Queen. But since Bernie Sanders, I don't know why they still trying to relitigate the 2016 the 2016 election. It's been over. It's done and over with. But apparently Newsweek have an obsession. So I'm going to say what I tweeted. Since Bernie Sanders want to say that Hillary Clinton's campaign did not embrace him. This is a reminder in many ways why folks don't want to work with him. And him and Ted Cruz are not like really the like people in Congress. Like I said, I have no issues with Bernie, but I don't like his supporters, and I didn't like the way he ran his campaign back in 2016 and even in especially in 2020. I hated it so much because it was his people was divisive, and he didn't put a muzzle on them. He did not put a muzzle on them, and like you should have put a muzzle on them, because this was his election to win or lose, his primary, and he lost it twice, and he lost this one pretty badly. But his folks seem to have a issue with me. I don't know why, because I tweeted this. So one of them said about me was laugh my ass off. Your resident Hillary Clinton, K-Hive girl back at again, spends more time baseless attacking Bernie than she does talking about Hillary and Kamala together. Why you are so obsessed with him rent free? Reminder that Hillary Clinton did more to help Hillary get elected than any of you terminally ill online trolls. He's on a Democrat leadership, shepherd the ARP through the Senate, and is well respected in the Senate. It was actually Chuck Schumer, but okay. I guess 2016 didn't embrace Hillary, and 2016 either. Oops. That's because the election was stolen. The thing about Hillary is she's not a good person. She blames everyone else for her failings as a politician. Someone told me to cope. And this one is just interesting. My favorite thing is Bernie has been more successful and influential politician in the United States and better and likable human being other than a careers witch. So, another, she's just bitter. So here's the thing. See, this is time to read the Bernie Bros. Your candidate had 5 years from 2016 or possibly 4 to build his coalition. During the Trump administration, during that era, he could have built his coalition then. During the primaries, he still kept his white base and a sprinkle of black people. And increased some of his Latino base, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for him to clinch the nomination. And this time around, he actually did worse than before. Part of the reason is it was a lot of candidates, which is true. And let's see. Bernie did not do a lot of outreach into black people once again. He didn't do as much in South Carolina as President Biden, well, then candidate Joe Biden, and then candidate Kamala Harris did. Bernie thought, and Elizabeth Warren did too, because Kamala Harris dropped out for the 2020 presidential campaign. They thought they was going to get her supporters, but that was not the case. Most of them went to Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, some Amy Klobuchar, and some Elizabeth Warren. Only 12% went to Bernie Sanders. And they even stick with him that long because they all moved on to Joe Biden. When South Carolina hit, it was over. And yes, Jim Clyburn helped with that South Carolina clinch the nomination thing. But to Jake Tapper, Joe Biden been in South Carolina way before a long time, and he has a relationship with South Carolina. He has a relationship with black people. As I said, Joe Biden's relationship with the black community is like a marriage. You go through some ups, you go through some downs. But they liked him because he show up to shit. Bernie Sanders didn't show up to shit. And he was supposed to show up to a speech in Mississippi, but say he flew to Detroit. Michigan think he was going to win. That was not the case. And his supporters keep saying he's going to win New York. The man lost New York again. His birth state again. And lost by a lot. And Joe Biden is loved here. He spoke to the people of New York here. He did. He went uptown to Harlem. He went to Brooklyn. That's what you do. President Obama has a relationship with Harlem and the Bronx. And that's where you go to. That's what you do. So let me just clear this up for all the Bernie bros. Your man's lost twice. He lost. He did it to himself. He should have took black people seriously. He didn't. And his surrogates, his national surrogates, didn't help. They killed his campaign by talking shit about black people. And for Michael Moore to say that South Carolina doesn't represent the United States, how dare you disrespect my family? And then David Serrata said the same fucking shit too. Yes, I'm still waiting on that apology, motherfucker. I'm still waiting for that shit. Bernie Sanders did it to himself. And that's why he's not the president of the United States. It's Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. and his vice president, Kamala Davy Harris. It's just as simple as that. So, I keep saying this to y'all. Y'all got a problem? Come with some facts, some reliable sources, and not opinion pieces. It's not motherfucking working. And to David, and to Bree, and to Ryan, and to Nick, and to Walker, and to Katie, you guys are going to live one miserable life if you continue to be trolls on this app. If you continue to spar with people instead of building up your resumes and getting a job. Because what y'all doing is y'all doing a disservice to people. You are trying to remain relevant, and your relevancy is going down the motherfucking drain each and every day. And yes, that list, it was not bad juju. It's something called when you do wrong, God will punish you and sit your ass down. And he's sitting y'all ass down. And he's making y'all think harder on how you should live your lives. So you got a problem with my list and try to get me kicked off here? I don't know what to tell y'all. I really don't. Nope, I don't. And also got to address one more thing. Because I should have said this. I mean, I said it in a short video on Saturday, but I think I got to say this again. I would like for the white moderates or the borderline conservatives, like Amy Siskin, to never, ever in her fucking life speak for black people. No. I don't. Because you miss back in 2008 when Hillary Clinton didn't get that nomination. You were the only one of the few dumbasses of the 25% that voted for John McCain and Sarah Palin instead of the first African American president and then vice president candidate Joe Biden. You didn't. So for you to talk shit and saying we work hard and I feel the sentiment of black people, how fucking dare you? We still remember. The best part of if you want to be an ally, the best advice for you to be an ally is to shut the fuck up. and don't talk. And as to all, white people, doesn't matter if you're a conservative, a moderate, or a leftist. And it's mostly for the leftists too. If you want to be an ally to black people, the best thing you can do is sit down, eat your food, and shut the fuck up. Because you didn't go through what we have been through for the last 360 some odd years, or 400 years in this country. You haven't. And still going through it. And saying that you sympathize with us, that doesn't cut it. And speaking of someone, no, I'm not going to address that tonight. But the best thing for you to do is shut the fuck up. That's all. But until then, you have a good night.